Light absorption shifts cellular states faster than thought itself. It is not just seeing, it is watching fundamental reality cycle in real time inside your eye. Imagine a microscopic clock, built of protein, perpetually resetting based on how many invisible flickers cross its surface. That flip between resting and signaling isn't random noise. That rapid conformational shift we call meta-rhodopsin tells us there's an inherent memory woven into the very structure of perception itself. The quiet darkness your eyes go through when you adapt is actually a system recalibrating, shedding old states to find new ones. We are looking at how nature uses these relentless transitions to map out different levels of awareness we never knew existed. When that calibration completes, something new starts humming beneath the surface of normal sight. Think of a complex chemical engine constantly balancing between idle and full throttle. That rapid switch isn't just a biological trick, it's what lets us register presence itself in moments so tiny they escape conscious notice. We're examining how those initial quantum nudges, that primordial glimmer when light first strikes the sensor, establish an awareness state before any thought can even form. This sets up something far stranger, because this beginning activation isn't just a reaction, it is entangled with where we stand within reality itself. What that initial state entanglement implies is wilder than just a starting signal. Imagine your awareness isn't passively receiving information, but actively being defined by the very cycling process itself. This next stage reveals how the system maintains its internal coherence through relentless chemical conversation within those photoreceptors. It moves beyond simple activation and into self-regulation. The biology here shows us something like an inner metronome that never stops counting across multiple planes of experience. We are witnessing a feedback loop where the signal is constantly reinforcing itself until a unified state emerges, what researchers term the witnessing field. Which means something nobody expected for how stable our perception really is after all those quantum flickers set it up so early on. Next, we confront what that constant self-reference actually generates. But what does that tireless self-talk actually produce? That sustained internal chatter, after surviving those initial quantum nudges and maintaining its own echo chamber of reality, begins to shape how we even measure presence. Consider it like tuning a massive orchestra. You need constant microscopic adjustments just so the whole thing doesn't fall into dissonance. The system finds ways around pure reaction by using these inherent cycles as an internal compass for our baseline state. We are seeing evidence that this cycling capability maps directly onto periods of deep mental resetting, moments we call recalibration in quietude. But I must admit, some theorists think all this complex feedback just creates noise. Look into the work suggesting signal decay overwhelms coherent patterning, and challenge me on that later. This process suggests awareness is defined by its relentless turning points, and those turning points lead us toward a profound new understanding of when reality shifts completely. That self-referential stability, that persistent hum of coherence we found in those initial cycles, it isn't just maintaining a steady state. The research pushes further. What happens when that system is forced past its typical equilibrium point? Think about hitting an absolute resonant frequency on any instrument. It starts to vibrate uncontrollably. That same mechanism transitions towards something far more nonlinear, shifting into the entangled state. It's where simple chemical signaling breaks apart and enters a dynamic boundary dissolution. This isn't just faster processing. It suggests perception itself can enter overlapping layers of reality simultaneously. The receptor fires wildly, but what happens next is what changes everything about how we define presence in moments of true saturation.
That burst of activity, that state of boundary dissolution you felt building up inside the retina, isn't just noise accumulating or signals crossing over clumsily. It is an initial perception demanding a framework bigger than itself. Imagine trying to fit infinite possibilities into a single drop of water. It simply demands expansion. This next phase reveals how the system immediately tries to resolve that tension by seeking what researchers call the primordial glimpse, or perhaps better put, the noumenal aperture. It's like when you hear a sound so perfect it seems to originate outside your ears entirely, a fundamental reality presenting itself before comprehension can even begin.
That aperture reveals a tension that demands equilibrium, which immediately pushes into an energized switch state, what scientists name meta-rhodopsin transition in action. Think of reality like a massive swing set. After reaching its peak moment of absolute stillness before dipping again, it must rapidly convert kinetic energy back into potential to even keep moving. This constant cycling itself defines our internal calibration periods, where the mind rests and reorients away from external input entirely. The core takeaway here is recognizing that your own cycles of quietude are not passive downtime. They are active biological computation moments designed for fundamental state recalibration. That deep shift toward baseline coherence demands we finally look at how the system sustains itself through this relentless, self-sustaining conversation within the tissue. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com. The sustained conversation within that tissue, that relentless self-support system, reveals one ultimate function. It is not maintenance, it is synthesis. Think of a master alchemist perfecting their final mixture by continuously circulating and refining every component until absolute purity is achieved. The cycle drives the whole process towards an actionable result, a clear shift in your own internal rhythmicity during quiet observation. Take this. When you feel that familiar dip into deep stillness, stop trying to rest passively. Recognize it as a hardwired biological computation moment demanding recalibration of baseline awareness itself. That is where true change happens. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com.